Welcome to another Kyle High Club podcast episode. And as per usual, I've got a very, very special guest with me. He's a Mozambican maestro, and he's got humble beginnings. He's proof that singing in the shower can actually lead you places. On my show I have today is Pedro Barbosa. Welcome, Pedro.
Hey Kyle, how's it, man? You just started me already made me laugh. I actually visually saw that a fat little kid singing in the shower and giving his heart out.
Because you told me, it all
It's the
started
truth.
when you were young in the shower.
Y- Well, I'll be blatantly honest with you. I do remember that I sang in the shower. I don't remember starting it there. My mom told me it started there. She
Yes.
actually said, because I said, look, I only started music when I was about 15, 16. And she's like, no, 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 no. You started way before that. You used to make up your own lyrics as I couldn't speak a word of English. So when I was 6, 7, I used to sing like all these Queen and stuff like that and make up my own. So I can just imagine what lyrics I came up with those days.
But you
But I
can't
can
prove
tell
your
you
mom
one.
wrong now.
No, it's my mom, dude.
You can't prove her
No.
wrong because you did sing in the shower at age 6 and now you're still doing music.
Yep, and I still sing in the shower, just not as much.
Because you're doing it all the time.
Yeah, no, no, it's not just that, man. It's usually I think those days we had time to shower. These days life goes past you, man.
You had
So you
time
sing
to
half a song,
shower.
you go, shit, I need to go. Yeah, yeah,
Pedro, would you mind telling
yeah.
us, for those people who don't know who you are, what it is that's
Uh,
happening in your life right now?
so I'm Pedro Barbosa, and I'm a musician born in Mozambique. I live in South Africa at the moment, and what else? Yeah, I play music. I write songs. It's my favorite thing to do, and yeah, just try to keep going, pushing life through, man, and trying to keep fresh and always busy and always relevant. That's the main thing.
Pedro, you studied jazz, and I've never seen you play jazz.
Carla studied jazz for 3 years to realize I never want to play it.
You didn't. I didn't even have to study it, and I know that.
Dude, so basically what happened. No, I have played jazz. I'm joking, but I think in my second year I realized. I mean, there's no way I don't have the talent, the year, or the
Fedoras.
yeah. You just realize this is not made. You weren't put in this earth to do this because you're not that good.
So,
No, man,
off with.
I didn't grow up with it. That was the main thing. I do believe whatever style of music that you play and that you can give your heart to, it's something that you must instinctively relate to. And I didn't have that, to be honest. So jazz was a style of music that I discovered much later in my life. So my relation to it was more, if I may say, mechanical and more
Okay.
technical than actually spiritual.
So you didn't go and like, I want to study jazz. That wasn't the thought. And then
No.
halfway
Oh.
realize, shit, I fucked up.
No, man, I studied marine biology and pharmacy before I even went to study music. My parents told me to go music, and I was like, no, there's no money in
Yo,
that shit. I'm not going to do it.
I was
And
gonna
so I
say
did,
that.
yeah, I did
Um,
a,
like
I
normally
didn't go
parents tell
into it.
us like to take a safe job and do the safe thing, and your parents have just been gunning you with the music. You're like, no, I want to go make farm. I want to go make pharmaceuticals for sea animals.
Dude, have you seen how much money, have you seen how much money pharmaceuticals make? I wasn't wrong, dude, was I?
I know that's like weird. Like normally our parents tell us don't do music, do something safe, and your parents were like the
Yeah.
other way around.
Well, let me put it this way. So they said I should have gone and studied music, um, I think about I finished studying 2003 here in South Africa. Then I went to the States, and then when I came back, I started working, and I started teaching, and it was hard, man. I mean, I earned, speaking under correction, but somewhere around 3,000, 3,500 rand a month, which was right, but it wasn't it wasn't a salary. And at that stage, my mom's like, okay, maybe you should think of doing another degree in something else. And and because she started noticing that I was struggling a lot, and often I had to go to her and, like, please borrow $500 this month and pay you back. And then sometimes I couldn't pay her back, and it was just a hectic struggle. So she got quite worried about the situation in terms of the music, but
Yeah.
because I don't think any of them knew what it truly was. I mean, none of us grew up around musicians in Mozambique, so we didn't exactly know what it was. And yeah,
This
so
was
she was a bit
after you
scared.
went
Yeah.
to LA for the encore programs.
Yeah. That's so after, yeah.
So when did you
Initially, they
decide to
wanted me
go
to
to
stay.
South Africa?
So basically, I was we went, and my mom worked for the UN, and I was very blessed in that sense that I could have kind of studied anywhere in the world. Obviously, if they'd
Wow.
allowed me in, and they basically, the UN paid a percentage of my studies, and I couldn't go to Berkeley in the States because I didn't have any music in school. So I would have to do like a bridging program in order to go to something like that. And Berkeley was the best jazz course in the world in those days. And so, but what we checked is that TUT here in Pretoria had the same syllabus as Berkeley, and
Oh
it
wow.
was considered one of the best jazz courses in Africa. So I decided,
Damn.
okay, cool, let me go to South Africa and check it out. And I first started at a place called the Contemporary Music College, which was in Pretoria, and they had the bridging course to allow me to get in to TUT. But I enjoyed it so much because it was like just a few students, and it felt like there was this direct attention into the students. And I decided, instead of going to TUT, I'm just going to finish and do it at Contemporary Music College, which had the same syllabus as well as TUT, basically. And I
Luckily,
never
you didn't have to
ended.
go all the way to Berkeley to realize you don't want to do jazz.
Imagine that, dude. Yes, and I can I don't even know how much that would have cost. But yeah, no, what? I don't regret studying jazz. Let me correct you there. I loved. I mean, it's the most complex style of music. There's no doubt. So we had first year up until grade, what you call grade 8 of classical music. You need to have that basics, and so you learn to write and do all that stuff. And then from there on, you go into the jazz course. So I mean, I remember we had to do like pieces, classical music pieces. We had to write for like 32 instruments and shit like that. It was insane, dude. And then when you go into the jazz course, you're doing jazz harmony, and then you have to write for big jazz bands. So, and also like a 16 instrument band and whatnot. And it's quite intense, dude. It's quite a. But my point was just, I I love like 50 swing jazz, but the other stuff, like I enjoyed John Coltrane, for example, a lot. But because I enjoyed him, I knew that I would never play this. Sometimes you
Yeah.
just have to respect and understand that it's not for you, kind of thing.
But don't you think studying that genre helped you a lot with understanding music? Going into one of those some complex styles of music, studying that makes the rest a little bit easier
Simpler.
to understand and simpler.
Um, so that's what I sorry, that's what I wanted to say. I don't regret studying jazz. I loved all the courses I did, and it definitely it helped me grow up a lot, man. But it wasn't. Um, when you say understand the other styles, I don't think every style has its own elements in a sense. So I don't think it helps you understand. It is the most complex, which makes you open a lot of doors, kind of thing. So if you go and listen to my music today, I'm I'm considered probably a pop artist or whatever, or commercial artist. But my if you go and listen to my music, a lot of it has elements of jazz progressions, jazz chords, and things like that. So, and that comes obviously from the studying and influences that I got those days.
No, I
Uh,
think what I meant is you have a really strong musical foundation to build anything on top of.
yes, no, but that you're right. You're very right. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
So, but I need to tell you guys, Pedro is probably like one of the hardest grafting musicians I've ever seen in my life. I could probably imagine you did like between like 20 to 30 odd shows a month. You know, like you see him every day of the week somewhere else. And doesn't that, kind of like ruin music for you? Or is it just like so deeply ingrained in you, you don't mind it? This is what you live for, Like I can imagine playing that amount of shows, it can get a little bit tiresome after a while.
Definitely, it's been something. So, like, if we're going to speak about COVID, which was a very negative aspect for a lot of musicians, it wasn't for me, Carl. It was really I I I actually enjoyed COVID, dude. It was I had a lot of time to reflect and a lot of time to just spend time with myself. Prior to COVID, when we checked the previous 2 years, I was averaging between 24 and 26 gigs a month for two
Damn,
years in a
dude.
row, dude. And that is
Yeah.
including holidays and stuff like that, which is it's insane, dude. So what happened was, and I think you know this. I mean, I would end up at hospital with dehydrations and exhaustion and shit like that, and I constantly had to go for B12 injections, and it was just insane. But I had a goal, man, and I had a vision of things that I wanted to build outside the music, and you need to make a living and stuff, and so I just kept pushing. But the nice thing is when COVID came, like I said, I wasn't like financially in such a bad spot that I needed to work, and I was like terrible and stuff like that. So it opened doors for me in the sense that I don't play now as much as I used to. I still play a lot. I do an average of between 12 and 15 gigs a month, but it just kind of like made me realize, dude, you need time for yourself, man. And like you said, because it started getting tiring for me. I started feeling like, you go to a show and you feel like you're becoming a bit robotic. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like repetitive the whole time.
Yeah,
It becomes like a pen pusher job after a while.
exactly. And that started irritating me. So things like, for example, playing the same songs, and it's like I started getting frustrated. And so started getting frustrated. While COVID was happening, I realized that I was getting a bit frustrated. So I started changing things. And one of the things now, for example, I rarely play a show just by myself. I minimum have a duo or the full band. So I'm making a lot less money than what I used to, but I think I'm much more happier with the music that's coming out now.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, definitely, dude. Definitely.
What would you say is your your main focus in life in general, outside of music and everything like that? What it can be music, I mean, it can be but what is your main motivation to keep pushing through every single day, would you say?
Um, yes, that's a good question. I actually never thought about that. You just put me on the
Welcome.
spot. Nice one, Kyle. I knew these things were made for this, but yeah, dude. So one of the main things that I'm working on at the moment is health wise. I have obviously I've been obese for most of my life, and it's a big problem because you know I fortunately don't have very serious health issues, but I'm turning 44 years old, and you're kind of like, okay, this is, dude, either you do something now, or, something might go wrong. So that has been my main thing. So one of the things is, for example, I really drink at the gigs now. I cut off drinking quite a
Yeah.
bit. I might have a tequila here and there, but you won't see me with a whiskey or a beer or something in hand. Really, really. I mean, I think from May till July, I I didn't drink. Uh, I went to Portugal on holiday, and I think I had a drink once there or two drinks in Portugal while on holiday, and I lost 6 kilos while on holiday because I decided I'm going to start
Wow.
keto while I'm on
normally
holiday, and I was like,
people
I'm going
normally
to do
people
this.
gain on holidays.
I know, dude. I was just so determined to like, no, I need to prove a point and stuff. and I need to do something. So that has been my drive at the moment. It's like, dude, look after your health, and you want to do this for many years to come. That's definitely it. And another thing is, I had this thing of I wanted to retire when I'm 45. I had this goal, 45, 48. And I don't know, you call it crazy or whatever, especially in the music scene. And I think when you reach, 35 or so, and you're like, okay, I'm not a French van Coke, I'm not a any big name or anything like that. It means I'm gonna have to work harder in order to achieve that. And you do, and you work hard, and I put my money into properties and stuff like that, and I still have that goal. So that's another thing that I drive, because I one of my biggest ambitions is to one day go and play a gig and say, I'm playing this gig, but I don't have to. I'm playing because I want to.
Yeah,
And it's the weirdest thing, but I think in the end of the day, I'm working towards that.
because currently
I
you're
don't know if
playing
that
because
makes
you
sense.
have to.
Yeah, I mean, I have to do 4 gigs a week. If I don't, I don't reach my dreams. It's a
And
weird
apart
thing, isn't
from
it?
it is, it is because a lot of people crave what you have, but they don't know what comes with it.
No, no, and it's not
And
easy, dude.
it isn't. Like I said, I haven't seen musicians grow after such as you do. A lot of people think, I'm only playing certain gigs, whatever, but like, um, I've seen you on every single lineup everywhere constantly,
Yeah.
and it's that determination is noteworthy because not only are you doing something you love, you're doing something you're passionate about, and you're taking it on. You're doing it full on. There's no halfway when it comes to anything, and the only way to make something is if you go full on. And that's why I say, like, it's commendable because that's why I'm asking what drives you. I mean, that is such a massive drive to do something like that and to go all in on something. No, not a lot of people can say they've gone all in on one thing.
Yeah. Have you ever read the book 10,000 Hours?
No.
Neither did I.
Nice.
I never read the book, but I read. Dude, I hate reading full books, but I read everything, the theory behind it, and
You've
it
read all
basically.
of the theory behind of the
I've
book
read the
instead
theory
of
behind it,
that.
but it didn't take me 10,000 hours, which is great. So, so I should read the book apparently, because I don't know if the shit's working or not. But I got very curious. I came across it somewhere, searching for something on the internet, and the theory basically just is that if you put 10,000 hours into something, you dominate in that area or whatever. And so when I came back from the States, for example, I what I learned in the States was that I was shit, that I was just another freaking little idiot who was in the middle of Hollywood trying to succeed, just like freaking another million other people. And I
Yeah.
was no better than any of them, and I was probably sitting in the bottom, and so it kind of like, you have one choice: either you quit in that moment, or you go and work towards becoming better. And I was like, I'm 4 years into this stuff. I've been playing now for 8 years or something, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, okay, what do I do? So I decided, okay, let's go for it. So I went back and I was like, what do I like in music? I liked songwriting. Okay, let's focus on the songwriting. So every day, Kyle, for a year, I wrote a song every day.
Wow.
I forced myself every day, whether I was feeling like shit, whether I was happy, whether whatever. I had to write at least a verse and a chorus every single day. And that was a thing to test, because I felt that my writing was one of my biggest weaknesses. Because at that point in my life, I was very insecure about my writing. I was insecure about my singing and stuff like that. So I needed to kind of like build a certain confidence in it. And so I started doing that, and that helped me a lot. It really opened a lot of doors for me in terms of the writing, and just become more. knowledgeable and almost like instinctive, in the writing. If you come to me now, tell me, okay, write me a song in these three chords and put these four words, dude, I'll do it quickly in 5 minutes. I'll do it. You
Mm.
know, and it will be something decent. Won't be something like a terrible song or whatever the case may be. And I attribute that to a lot of that dedication, and that was because of that 10,000 hours. The idea behind it, that if you put something, the problem is, okay, now you're going, okay, but you've definitely played more than 10,000 hours in music. I mean, you've been playing for like 26 years. That There's a difference, obviously. I mean, I need to put 10,000 hours into playing guitar, 10,000 hours into being a vocalist, 10,000 hours into
Yeah.
writing music. It's not a generalized
And
thing.
also there's so much more than just the music. There's promoting yourself, marketing yourself.
Exactly.
You essentially you're a business owner, and you need to run your service as a business. So it's
Yep.
more than just playing shows, it's everything that comes around it, because you can be an amazing musician and no one knows about you because your marketing or where you go play and all of that shit is shit. So
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
more than just 10,000 hours.
No, for sure, dude. In the end of the day, there's hundreds of thousands of hours that you have to put if you want to be dominant by yourself. And as meaning, like you said, being a business owner and being a performer and being everything else. So my point is just, I think we have to focus. I mean, if you go and speak to Dan Patlansky, for example, I remember Dan apparently used to practice 7 to 9 hours a day for I don't know how long. Dude, I remember when I was at MI, when I was at Musician Institute in LA, we had to practice about 7 hours a day because those guys were in such a high standard, bro. It was
Yeah.
insane. So if we practice only 2 to 3 hours of guitar a day, when you go the next day, you're behind everyone else. It's insane, dude. So when I hear about this from Dan, I can't remember if it was Dan or Sean from Mrs. B that told me this. I was like, dude, it totally makes sense. If you want to be the best, you've got to put that time in. There's just no other way. Now, with today's music, for example, I mean, I look at a lot of the newcomers and stuff like that, and I often talk about. The other day, I was talking. I don't know, Mark Beeling, right? Who used to be the
Yes,
vocalist of
sir.
Mr. Mustard. Yeah. So I was talking, and I was saying, you know what, Mark, your generation of musicians had so much talent, bro. When I look at the new generation coming in, and it's like this, it's completely different thing. Everything is on regards to how their music looks more than how it sounds, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You
It's the
know, because
presentation.
it's the social presentation, everything else. When Mark and these folks played, I mean, there was no YouTube and things like that. They had to go and listen to the tapes, probably and CDs, you know,
Mm.
and then play the music. Now you go to a website and you check all the notes and you just play them. So immediately it tells me that these kids, for example, new ears, they're not as accented and as developed as the old generation of musos. Yet they're much more well known because they dominate in like what you said. It's the business side of things. They put more time into the social media. They know more about that and all that stuff. But I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying music
It's
has
different
changed. Yeah, it's completely different.
because how
And
I feel, is, sorry to interrupt you over there.
no, 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 please.
It's this generation, it's all about the social network generation, right? It's all about me. I need to become influential to get more likes, and that is the currency right now. Content is the currency of the world right now. If you have got millions of followers, you can make anything happen. So that shift, has gone from it's about the music. It shifted kind of like it's about me now, and like you said, there's nothing wrong with that, and you can take this from any any occupation or any performance art or anything like that. You need to market yourself now. It's not about just the art or just the job. I mean, I see financial advisors on TikTok, giving, all kinds of advice on TikTok, but it's about joining their, getting their followers and everything like that. And that's why
Hmm.
I feel like there is such a big shift, because the currency has changed.
No, but you're right. I totally agree. And it is that. It's an unfortunate thing because now what it forces musicians to, they can't just focus on the art. They now have to focus on the business and everything else, which I think uh, it's exactly like what we're saying. The everything starts changing. I mean, Carl, if you look at things, small things like, I remember there was a comment a few years ago where, for example, in the 70s, Led Zeppelin wrote a song, and it was two guys that wrote a song. Now Rihanna has a hit, and there's like 16 songwriters.
Yeah,
And why does that happen? Uh, I think it's exactly because of all this. People have become so spread thin all over the world that there's no complete. I mean, the minute you are a songwriter, but you have to do something else. You have to play gigs to pay your rent, because you don't know when if, unless you've obviously sold a song that hit a million or whatever the case may be. But you can't just focus on one thing at the same time. Back in the day, Mark and those Oaks and all the, I mean, the Wonderbooms and those Oaks, well, they still only do music, but they they just did music. There was nothing else. They didn't work. A lot of them didn't work in coffee shop or doing this. Now I look at these young musicians, and most of them, they do music, but they have to have a day job or something on the side. It's, I don't know. It's just it, and I think my generation was caught right in the middle of this shift. So I got a little bit of the old, and now I'm getting the new side of things, and it's quite a difficult place to be. To be honest, it's hard to see the shift and go, oh shit, but where do you go next? You're like, okay, so I need to get someone to do the social media because I suck at this shit. I'm not a
yeah.
millennial. And then, but I still need to practice, and I still need to write songs. And it's like, so it's like this constant rush of what, you know, and then you end up in a place where I often ask myself, because I go like, a lot of people go, for example, they say, dude, you're a legend. And I'm going, I don't have enough followers to be considered a legend. What the fuck are
Yeah.
you talking about, dude?
You're not
And
Freddie
and I don't.
Mercury.
Yeah, that's Freddie Mercury. That's Brian Adams. That's the Oaks that I looked up to. Those Oaks are legends. And I don't. And I honestly, Kyle, I don't feel it. I don't. And why we don't feel it is because we take these other references that we have, and that's that to me is a legend. And and then maybe it's also the thing that I never played music thinking or ambitioning, had an ambition to become a legend or something like that. I don't think I've ever, to be honest, I really cared about that much. But it's just so weird to me. It's like this. And I think
It's a
today, sorry, yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, I want to say today's musicians, a lot of them, that's it. They all want to become legends. They all want uh,
But I think
to be
it's
seen.
a uh, talking about that technological shift. From I'm also in that sweet spot. I still know what a tape
Hmm.
is. I still know what a
Yeah.
vinyl is. I still know what an 8 track is, because I was in that little shift. And also, I still, I mean, you were talking about you're not a millennial, but I am a millennial, and I feel like a fossil sometimes, with what's happening.
No, but
Um,
you're an old soul, man. We all know that. You're an old, loving
but
soul.
yeah, I grew up with my grandparents, that's why. Um, but the thing what I wanted to mention is, Fritz told me the other day, like we all stopped playing because we're scared of getting hurt. And that culture is a lot more prominent in today's society. We're talking about how diluted everything is because everything is accessible. Knowledge, emails, technology, everything is accessible. It's easy to put yourself out there and stuff like that. Back in the day, you had to put in all of that work to be seen, because if you want to become a Queen or a Brian Adams or whatever, you had to work triple as hard to make it, to just get on the radio and then just to be heard. You need to actually spend money to go record. And if you're lucky, that money you've spent will get you some radio time, so we had to work a lot harder to get what we want. And while a lot of things feel more diluted, is you can just type out, write me a song on AI, and then you can put on auto tune, and then you can promote yourself on Spotify. It's a lot easier. That's why people expect to become legends, because it's a lot easier. And that's why it doesn't feel like it's about the music anymore or the art anymore, because the art form itself is diluted.
Yeah,
So I
you're
don't
very
think a lot of people want to work as hard to get there anymore. And I think that's what we're not feeling anymore with any type of occupation or art form, or whatever the case, whatever we talk about. You can take it past music, past occupations, everything like that. You can even make it painters. It doesn't feel authentic because everything is so diluted, because those people don't always put in the effort. I mean, you can have a person do pencil drawings that look like photographs, on the internet, showing how many hours that make, and then one person can just get an AI drawing and just put a girl in a bikini to market it, and there, boom, famous.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
one of my favorite quotes is a Muse quote, and I always punt it. Like, how can we win if fools can be kings? you know don't waste your time,
Sure.
or time will waste you. And that's how I feel
Yeah.
about today's society.
Yeah, that's scary actually.
It is a bit scary, but
Fuck.
also you can use it to your advantage. As scary as it may
Yeah.
sound, you can use it to your advantage.
No, no, you're right. But I mean, the reason I say it's scary is because I don't want to go into politics, but isn't that what we're seeing in politics in recent times? Actually, is exactly that. I mean, we've got, leaders who are literally, you don't know how they got there. Not going to mention names or anything,
Y-
obviously that will transpire to everything else in society. So it's very right. I do agree what you're saying.
exactly. That's how the movie Idiocracy
I
started as
love
a
that movie.
comedy, and
I
it's
love
slowly
that
but surely
movie.
becoming a reality. I mean, yeah, sure. If you're getting a lot of popularity, of course, one day America will have a WWE wrestler as their president. I can see that actually happening.
Well, they had an actor already as the president, so I wouldn't be surprised.
That's what I say. Like, it's happening. With
Yeah.
content being the currency, that can happen. You can have a YouTuber. Mr. Beast can become the next president if he wanted to, because he's got the money,
Yes.
he's got the resources, he's got everything.
Hmm. No, no, totally. I mean, if we're talking about democracy and people voting, who's going to be the voters? Imagine. I mean, if the campaigns turn into a campaign in voting turns into full on digital, and with all this TikToks and Facebooks, I mean, we already seen it with the Trump campaign, how they changed the opinion through Facebook and all that stuff. I mean, if all these voters, if all these campaigns rely on voters that comes from social media, of course, there's no doubt about that, and it's gonna happen, Kyle. I don't think that's there's any doubt on that. There's
I
gonna
see
be that's.
PewDiePie as the president of Sweden.
Oh my goodness. Maybe I should apply. Is that what you're trying to hint?
Yeah, maybe you should become like
Mozambican
president,
president.
Mozambican president. Just
Even better,
open up
just
the
start my own country.
start your own country. Go make enough
remember,
money to go buy Lesotho.
remember, there was a while back. There was a while back. I don't know if you on Facebook where, man, I don't know. I can't remember. There was all these things, Barbosa this and Barbosa that, and I'm not going to mention names because I don't know if he did it on purpose. But there was a musician who I really like him as a musician, and he commented, "Yes, everything now is Barbosa. One of these days we're gonna have Barbosa land, and everyone's eating Barbosa burgers and stuff like that." And I laughed about it, and and I shared the post, or someone tagged me, and then I went and I shared, and my fans took it so badly, man, that they actually ripped this poor elk apart. But But I was like, what's so bad in that? I was like,
Yeah, well,
if you want
I'll
to
eat a
expand as a
Barbosa
business,
burger.
yeah, I mean, if you want to expand the brand, you're going to have to go that route. And at least you'll know that it will be a good burger because I will not allow you to eat a shit burger. So, you
Exactly.
know, and,
It's
but
made on the rural streets of Mozambique. Then you know it's good.
totally, totally, it has to be on the streets, right there in the dumpster. No,
You
kidding.
with some got some little hint of prawn on it.
Oof, yeah. Sorry if you're allergic though. We're gonna have to put
Yeah,
those no peanuts and stuff allergies and whatnot.
may contain peanuts, but
But Mozambican peanuts, you can eat them.
Mozambique. For those of people who don't know, Mozambican peanuts are prawns.
Yes, how blessed are we? Well, we do
No,
kind of eat
but
those things. We do think those things as if it was peanuts at times. But
exactly,
yeah,
dude. No, but Barbosa Land sounds like if you can actually the food franchise Mozambique in South Africa. If we just partner with them,
oh
have
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
because I feel there's a lack of roller coaster theme parks in South Africa, and I think a Barbosa Land might not be a bad idea.
Yes, see, I wouldn't know what to put in there. The minute you say Barbosa Land, I started thinking of Michael Jackson's, uh, and I was like, okay, that's not a good idea. That didn't end up very very well. So
just leave,
okay,
just
no,
leave.
no,
I love
yes, see.
how Barbosa Land immediately took it to Michael Jackson.
Yeah, I
Holy
don't know,
shit!
dude. I was like, oh shit. Okay, that didn't end up well. Let's not do a Barbosa Land.
But
No,
so,
you know what? You know what? Talking about Michael Jackson, I was a huge Michael Jackson fan, according to my mom.
same,
So here's a little
same.
story. Apparently, when I was obviously, 6 or 7 years old, and then Thriller came out, and my parents didn't allow me to watch it because it was a bit like, there was that old movie, and he turns into a werewolf and this and that,
Oh, it's
and
controversial.
but yeah, it was a bit controversial, and we were too young to see it. But I knew where my dad hid his tapes because those days we had VHS tapes, and I knew that they had watched this, and I was like, man, Michael Jackson. I don't remember this, to be honest. My mom told me about it. Well, I remember uh, watching it, and I remember that I took it out, but I don't remember that I was so excited about it. Anyway, so my dad always kept his VHS tapes in his. He had so my dad took the Olympics team of the running team in Mozambique to the, I think it was the '84 Los Angeles Olympic Games, and he used to hide all the dodgy stuff that we couldn't watch in that jacket. So I figured that out. So I'll go in there and I invite the whole bloody street, man. I think it must have been like 20 or 30 kids. And we are like, okay, we're going to watch Michael Jackson's new Thriller. Carl, I couldn't sleep for fucking a year, bro. I was so
Really?
fucking. Dude, my mom had to go and find the making of Thriller because I was like, Michael Jackson turned into a fucking werewolf. What the fuck? Dude, I
No
was so
way.
traumatized. You don't understand. And I still remember at the age of 12, dude, having nightmares about fucking werewolves, dude, because of Thriller, dude, and like all these zombie people and shit like that. So my mom said that they found the
Wow.
tape. They managed to find, because I mean those days Mozambique was communist country, you couldn't just access to anything. And but still, I was still not convinced. I was like, how the hell my favorite oak in the world turned into freaking
Out of all of
yeah?
the
So it was bad
movies that
apparently.
for to traumatize children with, I would have never thought that Thriller would be on that list.
Dude, I don't know. I think I'd never seen special effects like that or something. I don't know. So I believed, like, I was so I don't know, gullible or whatever, dude. Apparently it was bad. It was bad.
Wow.
I do remember the nightmares though. I still today I actually recall, because one of them that I had constantly was this. I was jumping through the window, and as I jumped through the window, we lived on the third floor, second floor. I would turn into a werewolf kind of thing and fall into the water. There was, because all of a sudden the whole Maputo was flooded for some other reason, and that was a constant nightmare I had. And when my parents got divorced, I went to see a psychologist, and I remember speaking to her about that. that dream. And
You
all
know what
she
my
said is like, "You
favorite?
shouldn't have watched Michael Jackson turn into a zombie." Yeah, your favorite?
Whoa, dude, that's a that's a lot to take in over there.
Yeah, fuck.
And I'm gonna go watch it after this right now.
You should, dude. Just be careful, dude. I don't want you to get traumatized.
I want to see what
No,
this
man.
fuss is all about. You know, if it can
Yeah.
scare Mozambican kids, what can I do? Anything for me?
Yes, dude. Yeah.
You know
It
what
was
my
bad.
favorite Pedro Barbosa saga is out of everything that I've experienced you do was
Oppie copy.
no,
Oh,
it's
okay.
beyond
Wow.
Oppie Copy. Beyond
Okay.
beyond seeing you cross dress at Strap, beyond Oppie Copy, all of those
Yes.
things. My
Yeah.
favorite Pedro Barbosa saga was with the day when you found a snake in your house.
Oh my
And
God.
it was so bad that he went to Cape Town for how long? A week?
I wait, yeah, I think 4 days or something.
He went to Cape Town and just
And I left my
flew.
wife there to clear the fucking snake out. I was like, fuck
And
this.
he came back and he wrote a song about the snake.
It was a
That,
brown snake.
yes. Well, isn't it like a stereophonics?
It was a stereophonic song, and I just, yeah, yeah.
Like have a nice day.
Have a nice day. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think that was
yeah.
my favorite things. Like how why why? Let's start there. Why are you
Dude,
afraid of snakes?
I, to be honest, I never knew I was so afraid of snakes till I moved into that house.
So
Because
you didn't have a fear of snakes before you saw that specific snake.
no, I don't think that was the first one, Carl. So I think that was the second or third one that we had in that house. So the first one, I killed it by mistake because that's the other thing. I wouldn't kill a snake as much as unless it was like threatening my dogs or something. But I wouldn't just kill it, you know. The first one I killed it by mistake. I actually I wake up in the morning with my mate coming, Pedro, 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 come, come. And I'm like, what's up? She's like, takes me to the kitchen. She's like, there's a lizard there. I'm like, a lizard? She's like, yeah, just check there. There's a lizard. And I go, and I was like, holy shit, that is a big ass fucking tail for a lizard. But I'm still
Yeah.
waking up, dude. So I still think this is a lizard. But this tail is like 20 centimeters and it's thin and it's black. So I'm like,
Oh
what
no.
fucking lizard's on the other side of the door, bro? Because now the door was closed. So I'm like,
Yeah.
fucking still half awake. I open the door slowly because thinking that the lizard still might still be there. And there's fuck all. And I was like, okay, so obviously the tail is here, but the lizard fucked off. And then in that moment, I realized, well, you fucking idiot. If it's 20 centimeters, that lizard is probably like a meter long. Where the fuck would a meter long lizard come? Anyway,
Yeah.
so I opened the door completely and then I checked. So I think at night, when I went to close the door, the snake was coming out, and it climbed through the the area where the door actually closes onto the wall kind of thing, and I squashed his head. It wasn't on purpose. I didn't know,
Yeah.
but it freaked me out because that bloody thing was inside my house. So it was actually coming out of the house when I closed the door. And I called a friend to come and check it out, and he says, "Dude, this is a baby wrinkles." And I
Oh
was like,
no.
What the fuck is a wrinkles? I'm from Mozambique. Never even heard that name before." And then
Yeah.
he says, "No, it's one of the most poisonous snakes in South Africa." I was like, "Oh fuck
Damn.
sakes, dude." So
Now you
from
got
that
snake
moment,
anxiety.
I was a bit scared. And then comes the brown snake that you're talking about. That one was alive and it was moving around, and I was like, "Fuck this shit." Now at that moment, I didn't know that a brown snake is not it's not venomous.
Yeah. They're
So it's not.
harmless.
So I thought, "Fuck that shit, dude. I'm not." And my ex-wife and the gardener managed to capture it. I got the picture when I had already landed in Cape Town.
Damn, dude.
I wasn't there when they caught it. But dude, from there on, dude, I've been petrified of these bloody animals. And then a friend of mine, a couple of years ago, I was like, "No, dude, I need to beat this fear. I need to beat this fear." And she actually said, "Come, I've got a couple of snakes." And I actually held the snakes. And it wasn't so bad. I won't do it if it's running in the wild, but if it's a safe environment, I think I might do it again actually.
Yeah, but you're not as
But yeah,
scared that you have to leave your whole entire house
you
and
can be
go to a
glad I
whole
didn't
different
fucking
town.
burn that bloody place, dude. I was so stressed. I can't remember. I think there was also obviously a lot of stuff happening at that moment in my life. I was like, I just can't do this. I can't do this. And I
Yeah,
booked
I
a
can't deal
ticket.
with this.
I booked a ticket and I left the same fucking day. And I came back 4 days later. Yeah.
One thing you briefly touched upon earlier, changing the topic a little bit, was when when you mentioned like you weren't really good at songwriting, so you spent a lot of time trying to beat that and become better at it. Do you adapt that in your own personal life? You know, like if there's something you really, really struggle with, is that something you tend to put your focus on to try and overcome it? Like you say, you need to overcome that fear and, you know, you need to get better at it. Or are there like certain aspects that you just completely ignore?
Uh, that's a good question, Carl. So we spoke about the weight thing, which has obviously been a constant battle my whole life. I've tried a couple of diets here and there and stuff like that. So I, I recently I've been thinking. I always think to myself, if I could achieve all this and I could do all this, why can't I do this? What's the difference? So it
Yeah.
is something
What's the
that
common
it's
denominator?
exactly, yeah, yeah. So funny that you asked, because that has been something that it's been on my head for the past month or two. And when you're trying to reflect about something, trying to figure out, because I don't understand why I can't beat this. And the answer that I got was, I'm an addict. I'm a food addict, for example.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. And I'm not a music addict. Basically, Kyle, I always wanted to be the best that I can be in
Yeah.
anything that I did. I needed. I'm very competitive with myself, not necessarily with other people, but I need to 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 always, like for example, if I go and let's say, if I decide, okay, I'm going to build a car now, dude, I'm
Mm.
going to go and research about that car, and I'm going to have to learn everything about it, because now I want to do it. But at the same time, and in many things in life, I quit too easily. And music was
Yeah.
the only thing in my life that was really, really challenging for me. It was the one thing I could never dominate. It's the one thing I can never, if to purely understand. I think I don't know. It's just, to me, music doesn't actually completely make sense. It just makes me feel good, and everything else, it's not like that. Everything, I did video editing for work. I killed cockroaches for a living, dude.
Wow.
While you're trying to get into a place where music can feed you, I did a lot of other things, and all these things. The minute they became that, I feel like, okay, I understand what's going on. I quit them. I move into something else. In music, I've never been able to do that, and so it is. It is. I sometimes I say, I don't know if I've got a passion for music or if I've got an anger towards it, because it controls the shit out of me. You know, it's a weird, um, it's a weird place where I stand with it. I don't know it. I honestly don't know it. And I question at times that factor, because if you told me, I'm going to quit music tomorrow, if I told you I'm going to quit music tomorrow, I would quit music tomorrow. And
Yeah.
I don't know if I would start it again. Would I miss it? I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man. Uh, we said we're not going to speak about negative things. This is not negative to me, but it's a kind of battles and questions that you start developing. I suppose even in work, man. I mean, well, I don't even know what you're doing for work these days, but you get to a point where you're like, fuck, I'm so tired of doing this. Should I maybe try something else? The weirdest thing is, I'm not tired of music. I'm tired of what music represents these days. I love
I
playing,
got
dude.
you.
I often take out my guitar and I go sit outside and I play and I learn a new song, or I practice a bit. I fucking love it. But it kills me. And to be honest with you, Kyle, it's the biggest struggle I've been having other than this weight thing is going to shows, man. It's hard to the point where I started developing very bad anxiety. I have to take anxiety medication every fucking day, and because the attention and stuff started becoming too much for me. I never felt myself different than anyone else. I
Yeah.
never felt. I am very confident. Yes, I am a very confident person in many things, and I can be very stubborn and stuff. But I never felt like I'm any better than you or any better than anyone else. And the minute people start putting in an altar, it actually creates a lot of expectations for them, and it puts you in a position of I don't know, like stress, like don't expect too much from me. Don't I'll play. I'll play every day. Don't I love playing, but the minute that is expected from you, it's almost like it takes the juice away from it. If you, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, that's kind of
It does.
the the
It
issue.
does. I mean, because I, phew, resonate with what you're saying quite a lot because I'm still there. What you're talking about, like I look at a younger version of myself, and I know I can do anything I can put my mind to it. I'm smart enough. I am nimble enough. I'm resilient enough to put my mind to absolutely anything that I want. And I've been on this endless pursuit, and I'm still there. I learn everything that I can about something, and as soon as it becomes either like what it represents or how it's been perceived by the world, or if it's just not, if I don't resonate with it personally, I quit.
Yep.
I haven't
Yeah.
stuck with something that I can say this is me. And I mean, the older I get, I think to myself, dude, you need to fucking chill. You need to find something, that your mortality is kind of like forcing you to, you're like, dude, you need to start doing something, like you say, especially with your weight. You're getting older and you need to make a change with something. And my pursuit for finding my thing has been there because I find something, I learn about it, I enjoy it for a bit, and then I quit. Why? I don't know. I've done so many things. If I have to put all of the
Hmm.
things I've done on a list, I sound like I'm 300 years old instead of finding that one thing. That's what I envy for most people. And it's that anger
Yeah.
that you're talking about. You need to find something that and not using the cliche love hate relationship, but hate something enough to love it, you know?
Yep.
And that is what's getting to me lately is I am getting older. I'm not who I used to be. I know I can do certain things, but I self sabotage. You know that
Yeah.
meme where the guy's riding on a
Yeah.
bicycle and he puts this stick in front of it and he falls down and then he blames the bicycle. You know, that's
No,
me.
but totally. Yeah, no, I totally get you, dude. Yeah, no, that's and that's look. Your name is still saved on my phone from. I'm not going to mention names. The company that you used to work with, and you helped us out, for example, with the merch and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And today I was like, he doesn't work there anymore. I should change it. And I was like, fuck. Then I won't know which Carl it is anymore because my association is with
Yes.
that. But for example, it's the simple thing that I never worked with a company again because you weren't there. For example,
Yeah.
it's the weirdest. They never did me anything wrong, but my what I'm trying to say is, as much as you probably not working in that field anymore, you dominated in that to the point that I never went into something like that. It was weird. You managed to draw me into that. I think that's the only period that actually had merchandise was through you,
Yeah.
for example. So to me, it tells me that you dominated in that. You managed to convince me to do that, and you pushed me to do that. But and then you go out and you do, I don't know, what are you doing now, if I may ask, Kyle? Or are you not
Um,
working? What's
I'm a
Yeah, okay. Well,
podcaster.
okay, well, there you go. There you go. But this, for example, this I see you doing. For example,
Yeah,
you always had, you had a deep soul. You always had a very emotional connection to not just people around you, to, I think, to what you did, and the passion
yeah,
that you brought with it, always. But I think this, for example, I mean, I know we're changing a bit from me to you. I hope that's okay. But
that's okay.
I remember you when you started playing ukulele and stuff like that, and you came to me a couple of times and we chatted. And I don't know if you noticed, but I always tried to motivate you
Yes.
and to push you, dude. I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you. You weren't the greatest ukulele player. You weren't with the greatest musician, but
I
you
wasn't even
had
the
a
greatest
tremendous,
bassist.
yeah, you were, but you had a tremendous passion.
Yeah.
And that was my thing, is I'm not going to kill the Soak's passion. And I'm not gonna, I'm gonna motivate him. And I could see that you wanted to feel appreciated. You wanted
Yeah.
to it wasn't a show off thing for you. It wasn't, you just enjoyed this very
Yeah.
much. And we don't have a lot of that anymore. And I'm not just talking about music. It's and that
Yeah.
includes me. So in a sense, i I was, in a sense, jealous of you, because it reminded me of being 17, 18 years old and grabbing my guitar and going, fuck, yes, let me
Yeah.
yes, I'm gonna.
It's
And you
it's
you
just
you
about the
get a new chord
jams.
and you go, wow, dude, fuck, I can play a G7. And then you write a
Wow, I
song with
can
it
put
and you're
my
like,
pinky
yes,
down and
dude,
this thing
yes,
happens.
dude, yeah, dude. It's like, yes, see, dude, and that was you. And I was like, fuck, dude. But you don't
And
understand how much that actually motivates you. Like, to me, to go, fuck, dude, why did I lose my? I mean, here this oak is playing a fucking G or whatever the case may be. Used to send me these songs, and I'm like, fucking, it sounds so cool. And it started opening up little things in my head, like when I left Mozambique to come study. A good friend of mine, a Marvel. I mean, I played in a band with him in Moz, and he said, Pedro, go study. It's very good for you, but do not lose your garage feel. And I
mm,
was like, what the hell? It's like, do not, because that's the
wow.
core of who you are. And I lost it, Kyle. I lost it. I remember, and I was chatting to Albert Mankies about 2 weeks ago, funny enough, where I arrived, I get here, and I started hanging with Lonnie van der Voort, Hugo de Vol, Not My Dog guys, and all these, bigger bands. And you start looking, the guys from the Narrow and stuff like that. You start looking, you're going, wow, I need to grow up as a musician. So you start, dude, I was 12 years old and I loved Phil Collins and Michael Bolton. That was my vibe,
Yeah.
dude. But that was my thing, because
Nice.
I was an emotional kid. I was very, I was sensitive and
That
stuff
was
like
the
that. So I
emo
related.
music of your generation.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah. So I love that. But that was me, because a lot of the guys they were into. Man, I also enjoyed the Wu-Tang Clan and all that stuff. But this was the music that touched me. This was the music
Yeah.
that fuck. I related to these words. I could feel it, dude. Now I come here, and all of a sudden you kind of try to force yourself into something else, because you want to be part of a group. You want to be, and I lost myself for many years, like a lot, dude. And then, uh, to be honest with you, almost, I'd say 10, 15 years. And only recently, in the past, since I recorded Reborn, that I started finding myself again.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, dude. And what I'm trying to say is, all these things come back to me. Like, I remembered thinking about you. I remember thinking about, um, uh, sorry, that's a cigarette. That's nothing dodgy, by the way.
Okay.
um,
I don't care.
it was thinking about you. I remember thinking about Dan. All these things started coming to me, like the triggers, the motivations, the questions and stuff like that. And until the point where I realized, um, why did I started playing? That is the question that I should be answering. What made me become a musician, or what actually forget music, and I ended up, what what did I want to be when I was 12, 13 years old? So, Carl, I didn't want to be a musician. I wanted to be a psychologist because I wanted to help people.
Mm.
And I believe that music came in as the way to try and help people,
It's a
if that
universal
makes sense.
language.
Exactly. So I can't
Yeah,
attend to 10 million patients, but a song can attend to 10 million people and can
at
make them
once.
feel or click to something or relate to something. So that's when and then that was it. There was no question after that. So that's
I
where I
think that
decided
is.
I need to push the songwriting. Yeah.
I think that is that little. I hate calling it an existential crisis. It's.
But it is. Fuck, it
I
is. What
hate
else you want to
saying that
call it?
though. It's
Midlife. Do
like
you want to
it's.
call it the midlife crisis? I didn't buy a fucking
Uh,
Porsche, so no, it wasn't that. I
no,
almost
but I
did
say I
though.
don't
I
want to call
almost
it an
bought a Mustang.
existential. But the older I get, the more I realize your mortality creeps up on you, and you realize I've got less and less time and I need to spend the time wisely. And that's why I quit a lot of things, because I feel like, is this what I'm going to spend the rest of my time with? I don't feel like, oh, there goes Kyle, he's the financial advisor, and I don't care what people say. I don't care about the world. I'm thinking about myself. Like, and that's where you say that garage feel that you're talking about. I love that, by the way.
Yeah.
Is Yeah, I had to remind myself what it is that I wanted to do on this planet, and mine was to inspire people. That's something I always wanted to do, is inspire people. I don't care how or whatever. It can be anything, like a podcast or playing bass in a band or whatever the fuck. I don't care what it was, but I always just wanted to inspire people. And I realized, dude, you've been jumping around all of this time, and you realize, and I've lost my garage feel, for lack of a better term. Let's just,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, stick with that guy for a while,
Hmm.
and watching the clock tick. This somehow might sound a little bit morbid right now, and knowing the things I've achieved at a very young age, I'm thinking to myself, that's why I don't like doing some of these things that I did, and that's why I quit, because I don't want to devote time to this, because I want to keep in mind what I want to do on this planet while I can do it. I don't want to start inspiring people when I'm 80 years old and lying on my deathbed. I want to still continue to crash something, and that's basically what it boiled down to. Why I had this little existential anxiety that comes with it is I realized, fuck, that's why I keep bouncing around. That's why I quit things, because I know what I'm capable of, and this is not what I want to spend my time on.
But that's, Kyle. I always felt that you felt like you didn't belong, and
No,
and I totally relate to you, 100%.
yeah,
Didn't you
it's
all?
weird.
Didn't you always felt like you were always chasing something and you couldn't fucking? And the minute you grab it, oh fuck, it's not this.
That's the story of my life, Pedro. That's the
I know,
story of
dude,
my
but
life.
I know, dude, but that's exactly my point. And and uh, as much as I had music constantly with me, um, I know exactly how that feels, dude, because I never felt like I belonged somewhere. Never. It's in the friendships. It's in everything. It's honest. It's the honest truth. I just I always felt like I was different. I'm not
And
better
this
than
is
anyone, but
weird.
I'm different.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying, and the weird, this might sound very controversial. The more people you are around with, like the more friends I've had, like, all of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah,
events
yeah.
and
You were
stuff I've
quite, yeah,
had in
yeah, yeah,
Pretoria
yeah.
and everything like that, the
The
more I
lonelier you
did
were.
things to belong, did
Yeah,
things
yeah.
to fit in, the more I felt left out.
Yep, yep. Yeah,
It's like the more I try to belong somewhere, the more I realize this is not where I'm supposed to be. And that's
yeah,
partially why I've secluded myself and why I went like hermit mode and all of those type of things, because I need to figure out, okay, where do I belong? Okay, and it's not a place, it's a feeling.
yeah, yeah.
Where is my sweet
No, no,
spot that
yeah,
I like
yeah,
feeling? and focus on that. It's not Pretoria, it's not USA, it's nowhere in the world, but it's not a physical location. It is a feeling. Where do I belong? That, I think, if you find that in your life, you're set.
Yeah, for sure. No, no, for sure. And I think that's where, like we were talking about COVID early on. That's where it made a difference for me, because I always felt like I was unhappy with myself. And through COVID, I realized I'm actually very content with being just by myself. And Coco. Coco came in then
Yes.
as well.
Yeah,
Coco's
you
my
need
dog, by the
cocoa.
way. No, I can't live without Coco, bro. Fuck that. but no, but I was very. I just realized, and it was all for me. It was a massive transformation in a matter of weeks, dude. I went through a lot. I fucked up a lot in the beginning as COVID happened. I was fucking a loose cannon, and um, I want. I made mistakes, but I think it was needed mistakes in order for me to grow and to go to where I needed to go. But I hurt people in the process, and that was very wrong of me. But um, everything that comes from it, it was a blessing, dude. It was. Um, I don't want to go very much into detail in regards to it, but for example, I discovered that I'm never alone, and I've never been alone. And I'm not going to give the reasonings, or people can debate
No, you're
about
gonna
it.
have to.
But I just, I just basically, I discovered God. Okay, and I've got nothing against people. Everyone has their own beliefs, and I'm very open to that stuff. And it was the most amazing feeling to know that I'm never, ever alone in my life. And that in that moment, I realized that I don't need anyone or anything else. And
Yeah.
it was, you're not going to see me in a church. You're not going to see me preach about it. You're not going to see me. I'm not going to have discussions with you in regards to religions or whatever. It's pointless. I don't. My relationship to God is my relationship. It's got nothing to do with anyone, and that's the way I feel about it. And I don't speak. This is probably, I think, one of the first times I'm openly speaking about it. But um, it was to me, it was a very strong connection, and it just gave me such relief, and I don't know how to explain it, to be honest with you, but there's this peace that came with it. And with that came all these answers, like that, what we've been talking about in terms of what I want to do and stuff. It just, this open, dude. And like the fact, like you're saying, not knowing where you belong, all of a sudden I was like, I belong right here in this moment, right now.
Yeah.
This is where I belong. Not in this house,
Yeah.
like you said, not in Pretoria, in this moment. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all there is this moment. And you start treasuring those things, man, and your mind starts, just starts working in different ways. Your priorities become different. For example, I became a lot more selfish, which is the weirdest
Yes.
thing. Because if you go from a religious point of view, being selfish is the thing of a devil and whatever. But I became selfish. Because I started understanding that I need my own time. Bro, I
Mm-hmm.
discovered that I'm an introvert and not an extrovert. So I recharge by myself. People actually drain me. So
Yeah.
all these things, started coming through and whatnot. And dude, it's just such a peaceful place to be in. So in a sense, I'm much more happy with life in the past 3 years than I was 40 years in the past 40
Dude,
years.
but that's
It's the
not
weirdest thing.
selfish. I don't see it as selfish to take time for yourself. I mean, I'm the same. I also had to think to myself, listen, where does all my discomfort come from? Maybe I am not an
Mhm.
extrovert. I always saw myself as one. Maybe I don't like people. And I realize now if I go spend time with people, I get home, it takes me days to recover.
Yep, exactly.
Days.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And that's not
yeah.
selfish because I don't care what everybody thinks, but by the statement is, well, and I apologize to my friends who take this the wrong way. But no one on this whole entire planet gives a fuck about you like you do for yourself. Everybody's got their own shit they need to sort out. Everybody's got their own
Yeah,
lives that they need to live.
yeah, yeah,
No
for
one
sure.
gives a fuck about you like you do. And that when I realized that, I'm focused on myself, and that's the only thing that I need to do. Because if I do focus on myself, I can help other people, with the whole,
Yeah,
if I take care of my vehicle, I can give someone else a ride, So that's how I see it.
but that's 100%, dude. That's there's always that famous psychological quote: "You can't love another if you don't love yourself." It's fucking true, man. It's so fucking true. It's crazy. I mean, when I speak about my personal life in that regard, I mean, I was married. I mean, a lot of people didn't even fucking know I was married for years. And
Wow.
uh, yeah, dude, it's like,
That's
fuck, okay.
crazy.
But you know what it was? My ex-wife didn't she stopped going to the gigs. But I mean, fuck, we were together for like 15 years, dude. And,
Yeah.
she's not going to come to every single fucking gig for 15 years. So I think people didn't see me with someone else. So they thought, okay, fuck, he's not married or whatever the case may be. And, but, fuck, now I lost my train of thought on, oh yeah. So uh, the thing is, I think till recently, I I always thought that I was dependable on of my partner, and there was like an emotional dependency, and um, I was wrong, man. I was. How can I fucking depend on someone else to be happy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, yes, of course you'll be sad if you break up with someone and stuff like that, but it just your whole train of thoughts in this thing. I was so wrongly wired. I was put together
Yeah.
so badly. And like my new relationship now, it's completely different, man. It's completely open and completely. I mean, of course, there's issues. There'll always be. I'm not fucking unrealistic about this, but it's much more real, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And 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 I almost feel guilty because I it feels like I never gave a chance to my past relationships because I wasn't wired that way. You kind of like,
Dude.
fuck, man, I fucked that one up,
Dude.
bro. You know what I mean? It's sad, but at the same time, fuck, dude. I didn't know any better. You
Yeah,
know,
we don't have a
I
manuscript or a manual to
no,
live
exactly.
this life. You have to make our own mistakes in order to learn from them.
Hmm. Exactly.
I mean,
And
it's
it's
exactly
crazy.
that.
Yeah, I'm like 40 years old and I'm going, motherfucker. Because I still thought I was 21, bro. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I literally, and you too, Kyle. I know because you partied like a fucking animal, going through. I mean, you younger than me, but it's like it's the rock star
Yeah.
life, bro. It's the Mrs. B days. It's party. It's drinking. It's you know
Yeah.
taking as much shit as you can, going on 2 days party, no sleep, and thinking that you're a fucking rock star, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you're like, dude, I'm 34 years old. I've got
I've got
nothing to show for.
I've got nothing
I'm
to show
married.
for it except back pain.
Don't joke. I had knee pain like a motherfucker. That's actually very real shit.
Yeah, it's like I've got nothing to show for my life except back pain now.
Yes. It's bad because it's fucking true, dude.
Exactly. It's like, what have I done with
Fucking
my
hell.
life? All I have is
Yes.
this fucked up back now. I should have
Yeah.
listened to my dad when he
Fuck.
said, "Don't pick up boxes like that."
Fuck boxes, stage diving, and freaking yes, dude.
Amps.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Luckily, we don't have to carry those anymore. There's fucking
Yeah,
shit.
girls.
We don't need amps anymore. It's great. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's
that's.
it's it's
I
crazy. It's
think.
crazy how life twists, man. But you know what? Speaking to you, actually, um, it's very um, gratifying because it's nice to know that you also went through all that and you were in a completely different environment, completely different um, um, situation and
All kinds
scene
of
than I
different
was in. Yeah,
lifestyles and everything.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's nice to know that someone also went through something similar and they're going through, it's nice to know that you're not alone. Let's put it that way.
Exactly, and that's the
you know
point of why I'm doing this,
yeah,
because the more awareness you create by just not anything, just about making people feel like I'm not going through this alone, already builds makes you feel a little bit more humbling, because I went through a whole entire situation where I thought I was literally going insane. Like thinking I should go to a madhouse, because what the fuck is life? And what
yeah,
am I doing? And I'm getting anxiety. I'm hyperventilating just thinking about going to work tomorrow. I was literally at a point where I'm thinking, what the fuck have I done with my life? And then you start thinking about, like you said, past relationships, what a fucking dickhead I was, and all of those things.
yeah,
And if I didn't experience, like you say, if I didn't party as hard as I did, I would have never have quit alcohol. If I didn't go through some of my previous relationships, I would have never found my amazing wife that I have right now. If I didn't experience these horrific things, well, I wouldn't say horrific, because I don't regret anything that I've done. To be honest, I know in the past I've hurt people and I've done some really questionable things, but I had to do that in order to humble myself and say, like,
yep,
listen, you are
yeah,
better than this.
yeah, yeah. No, you're right. I totally agree with you. And we like you said, we needed to go through. It's important not to regret, because the minute you start regretting, then you start also resenting yourself, I think.
And that's
Uh,
the important thing, because earlier you mentioned you have to like yourself, you have to love
yeah,
yourself first.
yeah.
And I was living with regret and I hated myself
Shit, yeah. No, I
for a
also
very
been
long
there.
time,
Yeah.
you know,
But you also, I think
because
you.
yeah.
Sorry, go for it. Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you.
No, 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 go for it. Sorry, there's a bit of a lag.
Oh, I I followed a little bit of. There was a certain period of what you were going through where I followed, and I wasn't physically present, but I saw on socials and stuff like that. And I think I might have even asked a few people, where are you, what's going on, and whatnot. And but the weirdest thing is, I always felt um, uh, connected in a sense. And I think there's certain people like you meet, and it feels like you've either met them before, or there's like a connection that you've got with this person that is beyond. It's more on a spiritual realm, if we're going to put it that way. And
Yeah,
I think, for example, with you, I think I might have had that, because I, in a sense, I could feel that you were in pain, or some, like you confused or something like that, and you kept searching. And then all of a sudden, when I see you again, I see a picture, and I was like, what the fuck? This sock has found. This sock has
yeah,
found something, you know? And you can sense it. It's like, I mean, people always like, oh, it's like, because Facebook, changing a little bit, but Facebook, everyone's like, oh, dude, you're so happy. Everything's so good. You're so busy. Oh, wada, wada, wada. Bro, I'm not going to fucking post on Facebook that yesterday I freaking, like I was so demurring with my girlfriend because she lost my fucking car keys or whatever the fuck. I'm just like,
yeah.
you know?
You're not gonna
So
run to
what the
Facebook when
fuck?
you're
Yeah, I'm
having
not going to.
anxiety.
Yeah, and go, guys, fuck, I'm having a heart attack. Fuck, yeah, yeah, I'm not fucking gonna post that shit. So,
Yeah,
so it's a when I see your picture, I can see that is the real Kyle. That motherfucker's
yes,
found himself. This is not the same picture, happy picture that he posted fucking 5 years ago. There's a difference,
yeah,
and I mean, I'm pretty sure that you're still searching for certain things as much as I
of
am,
course.
but you have found a certain. I think you found the core. Now it's just to maneuver that core and, like, and understand it and stuff completely. There's obviously I mean, we keep growing through life because of that. And but it's nice to see that peace in you, that, like,
I
when you
think
started posting about your wife and stuff. Well, she wasn't your wife then. I was like, motherfucker, that's really cool. And
I think
that's
Pedro,
that's
the thing is, Thank you for mentioning that. I really appreciate it, dude. It's really nice to hear from you. I've never even really thought about it, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I just needed to take some time to, and I'm still, like I said, I'm still searching. I'm still, but that's the thing. I didn't search. I didn't look for. I was just content with life as it is, and that fucks you up. Also, I wasn't looking to better myself. It's like that blissful ignorance, fucking things up around you. I always use this metaphor of a little girl running across a park, but there's a do not walk on grass sign. She doesn't know the damage she's doing. You know, she's just
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
living her
yeah, yeah.
life, but she's doing
Mm-hmm.
damage to the
Mm-hmm.
grass, for instance. And that's how I felt my life was for a long time. I was just living my life, doing my thing. Meanwhile, I was like stepping on grass where I wasn't supposed to, and I didn't know any better. And that introspection had to happen, that search, that taking time and actually actively working on who I am and what it is that's what makes me tick. And like you as well, you know, you realize like, shit, I am not this. This is why I'm unhappy. How can I change this?
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
something I need to focus on. Use a simple example. Fuck, I really want to write songs. I don't know how. Let me focus on this, you know? And I think once you realize that, as I said earlier, it's not somewhere, it is the feeling, you know? Stay away, just stay away from the shit that doesn't make you feel nice and just
mm-hmm.
focus on the things that makes you feel good. Done.
Yeah,
Easy.
yeah, yeah,
You don't have to even worry about it. And you just need to think about it, you know, like what it is that makes me feel good. What can I do to not do wrong to other people while I feel good? Cool. Let me do this. That's all I want to do with life, and that's all I want to continue doing. You know,
yeah, bro.
and I wish the same for every single other person on this planet.
Yeah, because you're a nice guy. Can I ask you a question? Did you
Yeah.
had? Did you had? So I had a fucking bro. So like I said, at the beginning of COVID, I was a fucking nutcase, and I fucked up, and yeah. Anyway, um, basically, uh, and people after that and before that, people always come to me like, God, you've got such a nice heart. Dude, I fucking hated it when people told me that because I knew I was the biggest
Ugh.
cunt, you know,
Yeah.
at some point. And I was like, and it just made me feel so ugly, bro. Like I was like, dude, do
Don't
not
tell me I'm
fucking,
nice.
yeah, don't tell me I'm nice because I'm not fucking nice. I am a fucking
Yeah.
huge dick. And bro, I don't know if you've had that. And it's like there's this dilemma inside of you. There's this battle because and in the same wave, you know that you didn't do these things to hurt someone, but you know
Yeah.
that you did them without thinking of anyone else and just yourself. And that is selfish, and that is a bad what do you call it?
Example.
No, like that's being a bad person. You know, it's not. You're not a good person if you're selfish
Mm.
like that. If you don't care about others, and and dude, I struggled with that, Carl. Fuck, dude, that ate me up so much for quite some time. And then yeah, and then like I said, when all this transformation, everything happened, I just found this peace, and it was like, dude, you have a good heart. You're not. I remember I still at the stage I still justified because fuck, I was like, at a stage I was seeing like two or three different people at the same time. I wasn't dating any of them, but it was wrong, and and uh, and my point was in my head I was trying to justify it, and you're like, okay, but I never dated any of them. I did lie because one of them asked me, and I said I wasn't seeing anyone, and then you know you in your mind, and you're like trying to find to make yourself feel like I'm a better person, I'm a good person.
Mm.
The oak could just told me I'm good, and it all these justifications, but to clear your head, you can't use reasoning. I don't know if that makes
No,
sense.
because you're asking reason from the person that thought those things. You're
That's
looking
actually
for
that's
answers
very. I
by
never
the
thought. Yeah, I never thought that's very fucking true. Actually, yes,
like
exactly.
you're
That's
playing
like,
chess with yourself. You know, you're
yeah,
asking for
fuck, dude.
questions by the wrong source.
It's like a dog chasing his tail, motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like I
Yeah, I
thought
know.
about
It's
that the other day too. It's like, why am I keep asking myself for answers? I'm the one asking the questions. You know?
Mm-mm. No, no. It's the weirdest thing. It's like we were talking about religion as well. Like I don't ask God for anything. I thank Him for everything I've got because I feel I've
Yeah,
been so fucking blessed in my life, dude. It's and when you look at the whole world and the situation, is like I'm just so thankful for everything I've been given, and I really am. It's one of the things that also gave me a lot of peace was to realize how blessed I am, man. I mean, fuck, dude, I couldn't have gotten all this, houses, car, fucking guitars, a beautiful lady, all this stuff. It's, I mean, you have to be thankful for this shit. Otherwise,
yeah.
you never really give value to it, I think. So you start seeing things differently when you're grateful for what you have and what you are. It's like the sun just shines different. It literally does.
Once you are thankful for the sun, it shines different.
Wait, hold on, let me go check it. I'm kidding.
Let's go have a look at the
I
field
was, I
day.
was, I was, I was actually going like, oh shit, I hope it's not cloudy because then it's a fuck up. Yeah, I know.
Pedro, I've come to the point in the podcast where I usually ask my guests if there's something they would like to share with the world. It can be anything to absolutely anyone. So if there's something on your heart that you just want to just get out there for anyone to listen, now is your chance.
Anyone to listen, shit.
What
You
if
should
you
have,
can give advice or
huh?
if you just want to say something? Just if you can say anything to absolutely anyone right now, what would it be?
You know what? I actually I heard a podcast of yours the other day, and I remember this now, and I didn't. I should have thought about this earlier.
Don't
uh,
think about it. Just do it.
man, I just want people to listen to themselves. That's honestly just just be truthful to yourselves. I think it's very important when we chase dreams. A dream needs to be our dream, not everyone else's dream. And my biggest realization has been that I don't want to be famous. I don't want to I don't need to be known for what I do, but I want what I do to touch other people. I want it to help other people. And that's me. Doesn't mean that someone else has to be that way. I just want people to remember that their dreams is their own and they must just follow that. That's it. And I'm sorry
You don't
to
want to.
anyone that I've hurt.
I just want to take this moment to say sorry.
Since we were speaking about hurting people, I am. You know what? There's there's man, there was a period in my life where I was very ugly to to some people, and it ate me up. It doesn't eat me up anymore, I think, but it was a bit unfair, and I won't mention names. They know it was a bit unfair and stuff.
You know who
But we
you
move
are.
on, huh?
It's like
Kyle,
whoever's listening, you know who you are. We're sorry.
yeah. Sorry, I had to tell you. No, no, wanted to say.
Oh
Who's
my
that?
word.
What? I
I
can't
don't
even
know.
remember.
It's you
It's
now.
Mariah Carey, dude. It's Mariah and Boys to Men. I
Dude,
swear I'll
Boys to
always
Men. They're in
down on
South
you
Africa. They were in South
forever.
Africa now recently.
Really? I didn't even know.
Dude, I also briefly
Fuck, I
saw it. I'm
love
like,
those oaks.
boys to men. Wow.
Dude,
The
those
guys that
oaks were the
make you
bomb,
miss
man.
the girlfriend you never had.
I love that. I never heard. Yep, that was me, dude. That was me with Michael Bolton and Phil Collins, dude. I was 12 years old, man. I didn't even know what a girlfriend was. And I was like, dude, I want this. I want to cry for love, bro. I want someone to
Dude,
break my heart.
you were mentioning, and I'm gonna say this out loud, and I don't care what people think. You were mentioning Brian Adams earlier,
Yeah.
and I have a hatred for him.
Why?
because he ruined the movie Spirit for me.
I don't think I've ever watched. Wait, Spirit wasn't? I thought Phil Collins wrote the
It's-
song for
it's-
that.
no, Phil Collins did Tarzan.
Okay, cool.
So Brian Adams, he actually started that whole entire thing, you know.
Okay.
So he did the whole soundtrack for this movie of this horse. Brilliant movie. Brilliant movie. A Spirit Who Can't Be Broken. It's a beautiful movie about this coming of age horse, and all of these people try to capture him, and he's just living his life free. But anyway, every single song was a Brian Adams song. And just when you think this is like a very heartfelt moment where, you know, this whole scene needs a little bit of, like just Disney magic, Brian Adams came in. Because sorry, I'm gonna rant
No,
now
no,
before I
no,
end
no.
this
I'm actually
podcast.
curious. I'm curious. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
rant now before I end this podcast. And I
Yeah.
don't, all my due respect to Phil Collins, what he did with Tarzan, but this all started with Brian Adams because
Yeah.
all of the Disney characters had their coming of age songs that they sang. Simba, I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
want to be
Yeah.
king.
Yeah.
He sang
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of Disney, I mean, Little Mermaid, she sang her song. All of that's one thing that you wanted that turns that whole entire thing around is when the star of this whole entire fucking movie have their song, right? And then Brian Adams was the first person and who just killed the whole entire Disney Renaissance era by doing a whole entire soundtrack and making it about him. And now, when you think, oh, here's the moment, fucking Brian Adams again. And what did that spiral? Phil Collins did a whole entire Tarzan. He revoked Tarzan of his coming of age song, and that became a norm in Disney. So I blame Brian Adams for killing the Renaissance era of Walt Disney. So that is why I hate him.
That's actually a good point. I never watched that movie. I think I must go
It
watch it.
started with him. It started with him, and then it went on with Tarzan. Like I said, Phil Collins did Tarzan great. I mean, not. I mean, I love Phil Collins, but I'm saying it's because of Brian Adams that there was like single person who did a whole entire soundtrack for movies, and it killed Disney for me. I'm sorry.
That's sad,
So
dude. That's very sad.
yeah, fuck Brian Adams. I don't.
Dude,
I
he's
don't care.
coming down. He- He's playing in November. I actually want to go watch him because I never watched him before, and
If
I
you
heard
see him,
he's
tell
quite
him,
good.
Kyle,
I'm gonna tell him.
go
Carl
listen to
says
his
hello.
podcast. Go listen to my podcast with Kyle. He's got a message for
No,
you.
no, I'm gonna tell him. Carl said, leave the spirit alone."
Leave the spirit alone. He just wants to be free. But Pedro, thank you once again. I just want to thank you for setting a time aside to joining me on this
No, man.
podcast.
Thank you, bro.
And to me, you are a legend. You are a legendary person to me as an individual. I will always see you as one. And I just want to say thank you very much.
Thank you, dude. It was awesome to speak to you and speak openly about certain things that I didn't think I would speak on podcasts or anything. You know,
Haha, that's how I get
it's
you.
weird.
Ha ha
Uh
ha.
huh. Yeah. You
That's the
dick.
beauty of this. Yeah.
You dick.
All
No,
right,
man.
buddy.
It's
Have a
great,
good
man.
one.
It's so good to hear from you, man. Have a good one. Thanks very much.
Be happy and be inspired.